Hi, my name is Susan Schuler. I'm with Recycling Connections. We are contracted with the Marathon County Solid Waste and Recycling Department to offer education and outreach services. So today I'm here to talk about different items that can be recycled and what can't be recycled, and then different items that maybe have a special way of recycling or a different process for recycling. So today I'm hoping you get some tips on knowing how to recycle right, knowing what to throw in your bins, whether it's a recycle bin or landfill bin. So let's get started. Very common items that we find in our kitchen are juice bottles. These are great for recycling. They we just ask that you take the liquids out, so empty the liquids, and then put the caps right on there, and they can be put right into your bin for recycling. Another common plastic bottle that is recyclable, even the pump is recyclable. It does have a little bit of metal material in there, and so some people think that's going to contaminate the load. It will not. That will be taken out of processing. So that can be put into your recycle bin as well. Staying on the plastics, I have a chip container, and it does have a paper label, and the paper label can be removed. But it doesn't have to be. It can be just put also in their bin. The one thing it does have in a chip bottle is this foil piece. Just make sure you remove that. That can go into your trash bin. Put the lid back on because it's a plastic lid. And the rule of thumb for these types of things are likes with likes. So if it's a plastic lid, plastic container, just put the lid on it and put it in recycling. The foil will be put into your trash bin. Let's move on to metals. So any of your cans are great for recycling. So we have some, regular aluminum cans. Go ahead, make sure that they're just empty, not a lot of liquids in them, and that can be put in recycling. Some of these have now sticker labels. If you can remove that sticker label, it's less likely for it to be recycled if it's still on there. So if you are drinking any of those microbrews with that sticker plastic labeling, those might not make it through the system and they might not get recycled. So something to consider. Also tins. I'm going to hold on to this tin right now, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some items that can go into this for recycling. So if we move on to glass can all be recycled. It's accepted for recycling at the Material Recovery Center. This is a dark color. The color doesn't matter in our glass sorting facilities. So go ahead and just put this in your recycle bin and it will be sorted. This is a glass container, but it has a plastic lid. And again, when I said earlier, we want to keep the likes with the likes. So you can recycle the glass separately. This lid can either be put in the trash can, or what I like to do is save some of my plastic yogurt containers that are very recyclable. I'll put the plastic lid in that, I'll close it up, and now the lid will get recycled with that plastic jug. Similar to the glass containers that have a metal lid, you want to take the metal lid off, and that's where I keep some of these larger cans. I'll put my lids in here, and I'll close that up and I crimp it so that doesn't come open and we lose all of those lids. So if you crimp that, and then you can put that all in recycling, and that's going to all get sorted with the metals. So nice little tip there. Similarly, our oatmeal jugs, this is a cardboard container. The top, though, is a plastic lid. It even has this plastic ring on the top. You can actually remove that plastic lid, or it will go through and that will be removed in the process. But this lid, that's just going to fall off, and it's not, it's going to be pulled out and go to landfill anyway. You can fold it up, and I can also put that in the yogurt container, making sure that lid doesn't pop off. And now the lids in here will get recycled with the plastic and sorted with the plastic. The jar that no longer has that metal lid will get sorted with glass, and our cardboard container now ready to be sorted with all the papers. On the topic of papers, all papers are accepted for recycling. This has a little glossy finish, but this is your basic cereal box, great for recycling. Any of your materials that have even glossy, like newspaper, Those are accepted for recycling. Sorry about my dog barking in the background. That's what you get from recording at home. I'm going to now move on to materials that are commonly put in our recycle bins but are not recycled. Plastic bags. They are real problems at the Material Recovery Center. So we're asking people to collect their plastic bags. Make sure you're taking these back to a grocery store that's accepting them. Some grocery stores are putting a pause right now due to COVID on some of their plastic film recycling, but I do know Walmarts are still accepting and participating in that program. So if you do have plastic bags, there is a good outlet for you to take those so they're properly recycled. Those are made into great decking materials and other materials. Gets into a different stream, but they cannot be mixed at your Material Recovery Center. So make sure you're using the separate collection for that. I want to talk a little bit about clothing. Clothing is great for always donating if you can. This shirt happens to be ripped up. I know it's not going to be reused. I'm not going to give it to Goodwill, who's then going to deal with my ripped shirt. They're not going to be able to sell it. So some great tips on looking at taking cloths or clothing, even if it can no longer be donated. You can keep those, make rags out of it. This is a dog toy, so a nice tug-of-war dog toy that you can use that's made from t-shirts. Rags are great too on items like that. So there's some tips for recycling items. Okay, we're going to shift to some things that are commonly thought to be accepted for recycling and not in central Wisconsin. Our first one I'm going to talk about is this material that often has, this was a grapes came in this fruit containers. It's a very low grade plastic. It does have the recycle symbol on it, but we do not, in central Wisconsin, we do not separate these out and put them into market. There's just not enough of the material. It has a very low value to it, and we don't have a close enough manufacturer that's going to accept this to make new material. So we're asking people at the material to just put this in your trash bin for right now. Then until the rules change, right now, that's what we're asking folks to do. We do not recycle this in central Wisconsin. Please put it in your trash. Cartons is another one. Currently, they're not accepting these for recycling in central Wisconsin. These should be put in your trash bin. They do say that sometimes they do have that recycling symbol on, but you need to check locally. Here locally in central Wisconsin, these are to be put in your garbage trash bin. Things that are found, these ice cream containers, again, they have a plastic coating on it. They even have a plastic lid on the top and in this paper form. All of these should be put in your trash bin after you're finished using them. When you are using materials like microwave materials in cartons, these are forms that are black typically. These are not recycled item in central Wisconsin. We do not put them into a recycling marketable. It's not a marketable material for us. Please put them in the trash can. Same thing with styrofoams. Styrofoams are not accepted at the Material Recovery Center. They do not go in your recycle bin. They should be put in your trash as well. Styrofoam has very little plastic resin in it. Most of this is air, about 90-95%. This item is air anyway. It has a very low marketability and in return on recycling, so you can put that in your trash bin. If you have toothpaste, any materials that are really flexible packaging, go ahead and put that in your trash. That is not for recycling. There are few programs that may accept this. You could look into TerraCycling, where you actually collect these at home and then mail them to TerraCycling. They have different ways that they would like their products for reuse, so do look and follow those instructions if you'd like to collect these and send them into a reusable or recyclable form. But they should not go in your recycle bin, and they need to go in the trash unless you're using a special program like that. Even plastics containers like your deodorant containers, those should be put in your trash bin. These are not accepted for recycling, and then they're not sorted out for recycling. Things like straws, anything that's getting real little. I have twisties. These are terrible in your recycle bin. Do not put them in your recycle bin. Those go in your trash. Bread clips that you might have. Those are to be put in your trash bin, please. And I think the last item that I have today, the last tip today, are corks. Corks are great for projects that you might have at home and craft projects. So you could use them that way. Otherwise, those go in the trash bin. I have both the regular cork and I have the plastic corks, both of them. Neither one of them are accepted in the Material Recovery Center for recycling. I hope I gave you some tips on knowing what to throw and some good tips on keeping the likes with the likes when you recycle. And thanks for listening, and thanks for recycling right.